Hello and welcome back again to Skeptical Eye for the Paranormal Guys. Today we're going to be joined by our Tucson connection, Jose. You ever been followed home by anything? Maybe a lost puppy or something supernatural? Well, that's what we're going to get into today when Jose tells us all about his childhood and the strange occurrences that have seemed to follow him across state lines. As always, we recommend checking out the video version of this podcast over on YouTube, as we do share some images. So please enjoy the interview. All right. Welcome, guys, to Skeptical Eye with the Paranormal Guys. I'm joined by an old New Mexico native, Jose. Jose's going to tell us about some of his experiences from his childhood and up into your adult years, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Excellent. Yeah. So if you'd like to start us off with probably like the first experience you ever had.
Okay. Well, I grew up in it's a small town called Lordsburg,
Okay.
and it's a pretty tight knit community. Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
Especially with the neighbors, where we grew up at.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a picture too to send with the story. I don't know how we'd be able to send it. Maybe I could send it to your Facebook. Do you have your phone with you right now?
I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Well, we grew up in a small house. It was like a 2-bedroom house, and me and my sister, shared a room. This was we were young. We must have been maybe like middle school or something. I don't know, 7th, 8th grade, I think I was in. And you see the house that's over there towards the right. This is the view, kind of like what we had outside of our the bedroom.
That flat one on the right side of the picture.
Yeah, you see that car that's on the right side.
Yes.
Now you see the wall that's right there, separating the White House and then the brick house on the right. Okay, so there was this time that I don't know if I was having a nightmare or something, but I had got up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And I just had that, feeling where a lot of anxiety, I was scared for some reason, and something just told me to look out the window, So we had those, Venetian blind kind of window. I mean, those, window coverings.
Yeah.
And, I kind of like looked through the window.
Yeah.
And I see somebody over there. Now, the funny part is this guy was standing on that wall. I mean, those are what, cinder blocks?
Yeah.
I mean, they can't even be a foot wide. And it's weird because he was like facing us. So there's no way that he could be, standing in that position and then balancing at the same time on that wall.
Yeah, exactly.
And it looked like a real tall guy. And, the easiest way to explain how he looked was, did you ever see that movie Jeepers Creepers?
Yeah, yeah.
You know how that figure with the trench coat, just all in black, and then a guy with a hat, like one of those old style hats.
Yeah.
And you just see a dark figure. And I just remember feeling the anger of this person that was looking at us. It's like he knew that I was looking at him and he didn't like it. And you could just see him kind of breathing hard, like, when two people are about to fight, they start breathing all hard. And he just had that, looking at us. And I woke up my sister and I told her, hey, there's somebody outside over there at the neighbor's house. Look, he's over here. He's watching us.
Yeah. So
she got up and she looked and she saw it too. So there's a second witness, and, she was scared. So she went and called my mom, woke up my mom, and my mom came out and, she saw him too. And she called the neighbor, the one that's to the left in the White House.
Yeah.
And, she said, hey, there's some guy out there. We don't know who he is. Call the cops,
Yeah.
And, I mean, the cops came, but nobody was there. That guy was gone. I mean, we were young too, so I don't remember if he like took off running or how he disappeared, but he was gone.
Oh man.
And back then we didn't have the internet, to research this stuff or anything like that. But years later, when me and my sister were older, we would still watch, ghost adventure stuff and
I love that.
Yeah. We were researching it, and it turns out it's the same thing that people have been seeing everywhere. I guess they call them the shadow man or something like that.
There's like shadow people, things like that.
Yeah. And the pictures that we came up on Google, it was that same figure. The same as people have been seeing.
Yeah.
And I remember too, because we had in that town, we had like our local newspaper, and I remember there was like an activity report, that the police would put out, every week, just little stuff that would happen here in town.
Yeah.
And actually, there was the same kind of description of a guy, and he was standing on a roof, and they had called the cops over there to go and go investigate. But same thing, same description of that same person.
Which is that's interesting too. And then so your mom saw that,
yeah,
right?
my sister and my mom, and even the neighbor, the neighbor, well, she didn't go outside, she was scared, but
so then you've got that's 4 people, 2 kids, but I mean, and the thing is that usually kids are the ones that see it. So when you have like 2 adults, and then you have that other story, or the police blotter thing that was saying that, so then it's kind of creepy, because you're like, okay, it's not just a
we'll never forget though, I mean, just you could just feel that guy's anger, whatever that was, just staring and knowing that you're looking at him, and just it's just a scared feeling, I still remember that.
See, and that's that having the I guess that reaction to it, that's it's kind of weird, because you're like, you could probably get that from like humans, from seeing them from a ways off, but just like waking up knowing that it was there and seeing it is kind of,
it's almost like they had the power to wake you up or something, and kind of mess with you,
And that's another thing. A lot of people do bring up the fact that they're like, I was dead asleep, it was a good, perfect night, and then you just get that vibe. All right.
Now the update that I was telling you about, that I was talking to my sister about it.
Yes.
The neighbors that lived in the White House. They were telling my sister, that I guess back in the day, see, I don't remember this. I only have known one family to live in that house, and I guess that family that lived way before, I guess there were some weird people there. There was a guy, his name was like Marvin or something like that. And the neighbor that was there, I mean, she was young at that time too. She must have been in her teens, maybe younger, she's older now, of course, but she was the one telling my sister about it. And she said that I guess there was talk, well, even she, kind of confirmed this, but I guess he was into the dark arts.
Yeah. Okay.
So that kind of, I was like, wow, I wonder if that's the reason why, maybe for some reason we saw this,
Yeah. That would make a lot of sense too. Just like, if somebody, that was kind of like my buddy, I don't know what happened in his past, but it's just like that sort of stuff kind of, it lingers around,
Yeah.
So, ooh.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, I had no idea, somebody lived there before with that kind of story,
Yeah.
And I guess he was a weird guy. And, when they were kids, they used to kind of, how neighbors are, just small chat or whatever, small talk, And I guess there was this one time that he scared her, scared that neighbor, and they just stayed away from him after that. But I guess he was maybe talking about that kind of stuff to them or something. But
wow. And then
it's kind of weird.
And that was the only, did they ever experience anything in that house? The other neighbors, like, were they like, sometimes?
No, not that I know of. Cause I know the people that lived there before, they had a granddaughter that was around my sister's age too. And she said, she had been to that house a lot of times, and it never felt weird. There's nothing, cause how usually if you go to a place like that, you can kind of feel something's off,
Yeah, no, exactly. I've went to the Stanley Hotel, and there was a time where I walked in there, and it was funny because the first time I walked in there, I was like, everything feels fine, nothing feels heavy. And then I went in the second time, and I was like, I don't know, the vibe was completely different. And that was the first time I'd ever been like, oh yeah, I can feel that like tense, heavy air, or not even air, I guess, just feeling over you.
Yeah.
All right. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah, that I can remember that. Where we saw something. Actually seeing it.
Man. And then so when did you guys have any like religious beliefs? Did you have any like notions of like the afterlife or anything, or did this kind of like kick that into high gear?
Growing up, we came from a Catholic family, I was baptized and everything, but we were never brought up to go to church every Sunday or, regularly.
Yeah.
So, of course we kind of believed in God and all that, but we didn't really, we didn't really, I guess you can say, follow it that much,
Yeah.
So it was just kind of you're baptized, that's it, believe in God,
Yeah. Because I was just wondering, most of the time, it's just like, it's kind of earth shattering because I never, since I never experienced anything, I've kind of like, I'm like, okay, like I used to believe in God. I don't know how I feel now, and then I'm just like, if I was to see something, that would just be like, oh my God, that opens up a huge, like there's an afterlife, like there's proof of it. Like,
yeah.
So it's like, what exactly is that?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I always ask that question to people. I'm just like, how did that, blow your mind wide open?
Sometimes I mean, I've heard this before too, that a lot of times when people are like, I mean, I guess haunted, I guess, so to speak, it's, you know, I mean, I don't know if it's everybody, but a lot of times these people are, maybe atheists or something.
Yeah.
People that aren't so religious,
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my theory on it. Why some people get, I guess attacked or whatever, or haunted,
Mm-hmm. Because they're not aware of it, or it's kind of like, like a weird, like a predator kind of that you're not aware of. Everybody else kind of gets that vibe. I feel that.
Yeah. But then again, I guess there's some people that are more sensitive to that kind of stuff, and they pick up on, maybe paranormal stuff more than others,
Yeah. And so that was just the first experience. I'm guessing you have a lot more there.
Yeah. I mean, through the years, all right, I went through those two. Yeah. There was another time too where, I mean, I must have been like maybe so I was already living in Tucson, so I must have been maybe 22, 23 years old. I was over here living in Arizona already.
Mm-hmm.
And even to this day, I still go visit, every month or two to go visit family.
Yeah.
So I remember it was when the iPhone 3GS came out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one I ever had. I'm not really too into iPhones, but just one time I'll give it a try, So anyway, there was this app that was on there. It was like, I guess a ghost hunter app where you can kind of like go and record audio and, stuff.
Yeah.
So me and my sister had this idea. Hey, let's go try it out. We'll go to the cemetery. I was over there visiting, and we didn't know any better back then. I mean, I figured we just had that attitude, like, we were experienced stuff. We're tough. We can take whatever.
Yeah.
And anyway, we went to the cemetery, and I did that. We were walking around, and we were the only ones there. It was a little bit windy, but just kind of breezy. You can hear it in the audio and stuff.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't think it was going to pick up anything. So we went around for a while, and then took some audio. And when I got home, I listened to it, and wow, I mean, it's crazy, but you can hear some stuff in the background. I mean, it's really, really faint, but if you're in a quiet room and you have some way to turn it all the way up and listen, you'll hear stuff in the background, and it sounds like I mean, I thought I was gonna, if I did hear something, it was gonna be like maybe people talking or whatever. But no, I mean, I picked up some like audio of it sounded like people were in pain, like moaning, groaning kind of noise, like they were just like, I mean, something horrible is happening to them or something, just like in pain, it's weird, but you can hear it in there.
And this was like a local cemetery, like
over there,
probably had like a lot of people from like way back.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's people buried in there in that cemetery, like from the cowboy days, because there's like a little ghost town that's not far from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's that holds a lot of like energy, Yeah.
Okay. I still have that too. I mean, I don't use the iPhone. I have the iPhone there, just in the drawer, but it's still there too. I haven't, tried to pull that out and maybe put it in the laptop or anything, but
that'd actually be really, that would.
Yeah.
And just to hear that too, to be like, go back and be like, whoa, there was something in there. Because that was one of the big things, the electronic voice phenomenons.
Yeah.
That one seems to be really or not popular, but just like one of the things that people catch way more often than anything else, Yeah.
Okay. I was even wondering if maybe that was the start of maybe why, later on down the road I started, experiencing stuff, other things.
Yeah. That might be too. Yeah, there's something to be said about like opening yourself up to these things, or going out and seeking it, especially if I don't know, people sometimes are like, oh, spirits can follow you home and attach to you or whatever, and I'm like, yeah,
we didn't know any better. If I would have known,
you're like, So then, do you think that experience led to anything down the road?
I mean, I can't really think of anything that would like pinpoint it. I mean, other stuff just kind of happened random, but I mean, there's really no way to connect it to that, you know. I mean,
yeah.
The other stuff that we started experiencing was more of the bad energy, you know, the bad stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like human ghost, you know.
Okay, so yeah, moving off into the realms, because that's well, I guess, you know, for lack of better words, demon or demonic sort of things. Okay.
Definitely through all this that I had been through, you can definitely feel when there's like, if there's a ghost that's like good, I mean, not really necessarily good, but like not bad. Let's just put it that way, you know. And then compare it to something that's bad, you know, it's a whole different feeling, you know. I guess I've kind of experienced both, you know, the difference,
And then so, when did you start experiencing, I guess, the bad side of things?
The bad stuff started happening. I must have been about maybe late 20s. That's when I started. I was going through a lot, you know, at that time of my life. You know, I had went through a separation, you know, with a kid's mom, and that's one of those that you know, I took it really hard, you know, and you know, and I've heard before, you know, that's when I guess stuff will attack you, you know, when you're at your most vulnerable. So that kind of maybe makes sense why that stuff was happening around that time too, you know. But basically I you know, I got out of my we separated, so I moved out, you know, and I came to live with my dad. He still lived over here in Tucson, you know, in an apartment. And you know, it's a small 2-bedroom apartment too. So, you know, I was over here. My sister was living down here too. You know, she stayed here for a couple of years. And you know, I was staying in the living room. And you know, on the weekends, my sister would go see her boyfriend. So you know, her room was open. So I'd go. She'd say, "Hey, you know, go sleep on the bed. You know, so you don't have to sleep on the couch." And I remember it started with I would have nightmares. You know, I would get waking up. You know, it's always around the same time of the night too. It was like from 12 to 3.
Oh,
you know, and then we find out later on, you know, that's what like the
witching
hour. Coincidentally, you know. And that's how it started. You know, it just started with really bad nightmares that you're like bad stuff, you know, like I remember this one dream where I was just like walking somewhere. I don't know if it was like in some yard or something. There was like a trailer, and then you could see like blood or something, you know, on the wall, you know, just stuff like that. That's like, you don't even want to remember, you know, like no reason for you to be dreaming stuff like that. And that's how it started. And it started escalating a little bit. I remember there was maybe twice that I had woke up in the middle of the night, and I'm one of those that I sleep at the edge of the bed, and I'm always on my side, you know, so I was kind of facing the wall. And I remember, you know, getting woken up and feeling that same feeling like I had when I was a kid, when I saw that, you know, a shadow person, you know, just with anxiety, the fear, and kind of that paralyzing feeling, like you can't move, or you don't want to move. And it was a fear, like I didn't want to turn around. But I had woke up, and, you know, when somebody's standing kind of close to you, you can feel them, you know, somebody right there. So I felt that. And I remember hearing, you know, clear, you know, that same breathing, that really heavy breathing that somebody does when they're mad, you know. And I just remember not wanting to turn around, you know, not wanting to, you know, jump up and turn on the lights or whatever, you know. And I would just, you know, like, you know, God, please, you know, just, you know, make this go away, you know, help me out or something, you know. And that happened a couple of times. And it started escalating. There was a couple of more times that I had woke up and I felt somebody like grab my ankle and just like tug real hard, like to wake me up. And the last time that had happened after that, it escalated like a little bit more. And my sister's bed, she had one of those, they had like kind of a flimsy kind of metal railing frame on it. But it's one of those that you sit on it and you can just hear the creaking, just, you know, any little movement, you're going to hear it, you know. So same thing, you know, I woke up in the middle of the night, you know, I'm facing the wall, and, you know, I hear somebody right here, right next to me, breathing like all mad. And all of a sudden I felt two hands like just kind of grab where my knees at, and just start pushing down. And the funny part, I mean, not funny part, the scary part was the bed, you know how it creaks and makes a lot of noise. I even heard the bed making that noise. Dude. Like all the pressure was going down. Yeah. And I mean, I was terrified, you know, and I was just, you know, same thing. I was just telling God, you know, I was like, hey, you know, help me out. You know, what is this? You know, just to help me, you know. And it stopped, you know. So after that, you know, I was talking to some people about it, you know, at work where I used to work.
Yeah.
And I remember them telling me that there's people out there that they're kind of like I don't know what the word would be. I guess like a medicine man,
like a shaman or
something like that. Well, there was this lady that she would do like a cleansing. You know, in Spanish they call it limpia, but that's basically what that's translated to. It's cleansing. So I went to go see, you know, the lady, you know, and told her, you know, what was going on, you know, and she says, you know, I think something's on you, you know, some kind of maybe somebody put something on you, or but you should get a cleaning, you know. We're gonna have to do like 3 on you.
Oh dang!
So 3. Sure enough, you know, she did the thing with the egg, and you know, she was doing these, I don't know what kind of just sound like gibberish, you know, just some kind of I don't know what she did. But I remember when she did that, you know, I felt like lighter, you know. I just felt like everything was okay, you know.
Yeah.
And she gave me like this spray to, you know, bring to the, you know, apartment and start spraying around the apartment. She said that there was like bad energy and stuff here. And she even gave me like this little paragraph, you know, to pray, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that helped for a while, you know. You know, here's another thing that I forgot to mention. My sister, you know how she was living here too. There was a time that she had woke up, you know, same way I did, you know, and she felt somebody there, but she actually like put her hand behind her to see if anybody was right there, and she actually felt somebody. And she jumped up, screamed, and turned on the light, and, you know, nobody was there. Yeah, she had told me that about that time. And we had a family dog. Well, they still have that dog. It's like a small little, you know, poodle or some kind of dog.
Yeah.
And every time they would come down here, you know, they would bring that dog. Well, my mom anyway.
Yeah.
So that dog, I remember, it was always, you know how dogs get like around the 4th of July, that they get like really nervous, and they're like,
they're ready for
shivering, and
things gonna pop off.
Yeah. So that dog would act that way, you know, in the apartment, and never wanted to, you know, be left alone. You know, it was weird. And another thing my dad had told me too, because the way we have the apartment laid out, there's like 2 rooms towards the back, and they're kind of side by side, and there's like a small hallway that goes right down the middle.
Yeah.
So my dad had the bedroom in the left side, and, you know, he always had his bed kind of, you know, crossways, and he had the TV in front, you know, in front of the bed, so he can lay down and watch TV, you know. And when you're in that position, you can see, you know, who goes in and out of the other room. You know, you can kind of see towards the door and the hallway and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was this one time he said that he saw me walk into the room, but then, you know, for that split second, he said, wait a minute, you know, they're gone. They went to the store.
Yeah.
You know, so even my dad saw something, you know. But
so
he said whatever he saw, it looked like me. You know, that's a weird part.
That is, like maybe he was just trying to, you know, slip into your room without somebody else noticing. And
so who knows?
And I was going to say too, that, well, just having, now you've got, okay, so I'm just going to so your mom's seen something, your dad's seen something, you and your sister have both seen something. The dog.
The
dog. And I mean, just saying, like, because everybody's like animals, and like, you know, they have that sixth sense about it. And like, I can believe it, you know. Sometimes dogs or cats are like looking at the wall, doing their whole. So do you think that this was, because by the sound of it, you heard that heavy breathing again, and kind of the same vibe. Do you think that whatever you saw back when you were younger at that other house had,
maybe it was that?
Yeah. Or like that I don't know. It was like mad that you saw it, and it's like, well, now I gotta, you know, attach to you.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. I mean, because when we saw that, when we were kids. I was like way back in middle school.
Yeah. What's this?
I don't know. I don't know why, we would be seeing stuff around, later on when we're older. And especially all of a sudden,
Yeah.
It's just weird. What that lady did tell me though, when she did the cleansing, was that she believed somebody had put some kind of I think she called it a binding, or I mean, the way I could understand is maybe some kind of hex. Somebody might have done that to me. And basically I was just walking around with a cloud over my head, dark cloud. But
so then it could have been some sort of like, ritual magic that then after that point, like, who have I made enemies with, I guess.
It's kind of funny too, because now that my sister told me about this guy across the street, I mean, there's even a possibility maybe that guy put something on us for some reason, when we were kids, or who knows, and we were just experiencing it later on when we were older. I mean, there's some possibilities there that we didn't think of. We were just talking about it over the weekend.
Exactly,
that could be connected somehow.
But then so after this, the medicine woman did that. Did the experiences stop for a period of time? Did they come back? Or
they did. Things got better. I mean, once in a while I would have a nightmare or two, but I mean, for the most part it was okay. Here's another thing that was kind of interesting to mention is here in these apartments, it's just like one big building, where we're at. And I was always hearing stuff up on the roof. And I was always hearing like footsteps, and I always thought, maybe it's just a cat or something, running up and down and chasing a bird. I mean, who knows? Or maybe it's kids. For the longest time I thought it was kids up there, maybe from the high school that would get up on the roof, and go, go drink or whatever up there.
Hang out, do something.
Yeah, but then later on I had noticed, I was even thinking maybe maintenance was up there for some reason, but see, the maintenance over here, they don't work weekends, they don't work at night, And I started thinking, I said, well, what is that noise then? And there was this time where they replaced the AC unit. And the people that went up there, they did it by ladder. So it clicked, it was like, there's no, hidden ladder around here where people or kids can get up there. There's no apartment that has an access to up there.
And it doesn't sound like them crawling around and they're doing maintenance.
No, it just sounded like footsteps kind of running back and forth, I mean, not all the time, but once in a while you hear something like run across the roof. And that was kind of weird too. Around that time that was happening, but I didn't notice that until I moved, because I'm actually still in the same building, but I moved over here to the corner where there's like one balcony, just right here where I'm at, that other apartment where we're at, it's actually 2 apartments down. 2 staircases down. So I've been meaning to maybe talk to the neighbors and say, hey, by chance, have you experienced anything in that apartment, or But when I moved over here to this one, it's a whole different feeling in here. A lot of people have told me too, there's just a weird, it doesn't feel like the other apartment, because other people, it wasn't just us, other people that would go visit and stuff, they would say, there was something weird about that apartment,
So that one specifically, I guess, there's always like history to buildings or something. Is this like, was the apartment something else when beforehand, like a factory, or I don't know?
I've been curious about that too, maybe asking the the office, hey, what's the history of that apartment, before we moved here, maybe, maybe something happened there, you never know, because this isn't exactly the best part of the town either, so who knows what happened,
and I don't know anything about like Tucson before, I don't know, it could be anything really. And that's why like going through the past and being like, well, maybe this is when this happened, because like, that's the big mystery. How do things attach to you, or why do they attach to you, and to what extent?
I guess another thing that happened too was I was dating this girl for a while, a few years, and when she used to come over to visit at the apartment too, kind of the nightmares would kind of spring up again, and I know she was real, experienced in that kind of stuff, because I guess her parents, back in Mexico, from what she was telling me, they've had actually, they were like really, really religious. And she would tell me that they had actually took part of exorcisms.
Yeah.
So, when I was with her, I would experience some stuff too.
Yeah.
And I think maybe stuff would happen to her because of that, because of her family history and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was the one that, taught me how to, pray and stuff like that to, be stronger spiritually, and I think it's because of her too that a lot of that stuff, stopped.
But
yeah. So oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, okay, yeah, like that, the religious side. And the thing too is, like, I don't know about what it is, but Catholics are pretty much, well, they're like the only that I can think of, like, religion that takes like exorcisms, exorcism seriously, and like has priests and people like actually go train for that, which I like, I think that we kind of, you need that in some respect.
Yeah. There was another time where that I remember. I remember we were asleep, and my daughter was young. My youngest, she must have been, barely walking and stuff like that. And she had like a little playpen and stuff, where I would see her on the, every other weekend. So I would put it like right there next to the bed, And I remember this time that I had woke up, and I was having a nightmare. Kind of like a really bad nightmare. And, as a parent, you're really overprotective over your kids, And I remember having one of those scary dreams again. And I remember some like really bad voice, like, I guess I could kind of, I hate to say that word too, the demonic. I don't know why, it just doesn't, it's just not comfortable to say it, But that demonic voice, saying that he wanted my daughter. And I remember getting mad, and like, cussing him out in that dream, and praying and stuff, And when I woke up scared, now this is the freaky part, my daughter woke up at that same exact moment, and she was crying, and it's almost like she was having that dream too, I'll never forget that, And
right.
My girlfriend at the time, she was, I told her about it, and she was like, yeah, there's something weird in this house, It's still there, but you just got to be stronger, to get rid of it,
And then did anything like that happen after you kind of like had that mental battle with that thing?
No, not that I remember. No, I mean, I can't remember anything really after that, maybe a couple of nightmares after that, but for the most part, stuff started slowing down,
Well, that's good. And then so at this point in your life, has it kind of like completely stopped, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't happened for a while since I've actually, you know what, there was a time when I was with her too, I forgot to.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I'm trying to go by the list, but I keep remembering stuff at the same time too.
Oh yeah.
We had went to Bisbee, Arizona. Kind of like a weekend getaway. I had never been over there. Really to go stay over there and go check it out. And there was this. Well, you've heard of the Copper Queen motel that it's really haunted and stuff. Well, we didn't stay there, but we stayed kind of like around the off to the side. There's another place. I guess it used to be a YMCA.
Yeah.
And they're actually like really nice, like little rentals. It's almost like a little apartment. It's just like a little studio. But this one had like a loft. It had a kitchen.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm gonna see if I can send you these pictures right here. Yeah, we went to go stay over there, and I remember. I mean, as soon as we walked in there, I just felt like it was kind of like the air was thick. It was just, and then it had like a certain smell to it, like a old attic or something.
Yeah.
And I just kind of brushed it off as it's just a old building or whatever, old kind of hotel. So we had stayed there, and I remember it was in the middle of the night too, and this is the first time I had actually heard something really clear. The other times I know I had actually felt that other presence in my apartment, just kind of like tug at my ankle and stuff like that, But we were asleep, and I woke up and I heard somebody like right at the foot of the bed, kind of like whispering something, I don't know what he had said actually about her. I don't remember, but it was like really, really clear. But I'm guessing it was maybe like a human ghost, maybe somebody that passed away there at one time or something, because I didn't get that same vibe like at the apartment. I didn't get the scared feeling, the hairs, tingling, it was just kind of like, it wasn't that bad, that's when I had actually, was able to tell the difference, so, this is, something not so bad, like not what I had been through before. But I remember in the morning, she had told me that she had woke up also, and she had felt somebody kind of like going like that to her face. And she asked me if that was me. And I said, oh, I wasn't, that wasn't me. I wouldn't do that, not while you were sleeping. It was kind of weird. So yeah, I mean, it stayed like that. And she actually took some pictures, like the one that I had sent.
All right, cool. So here we are. So that's the bed.
Yeah, you can kind of see a spot towards the left.
Over here?
Yeah.
On that side?
Yeah.
Cool.
I just thought that spot was kind of interesting. I don't know if maybe it could be an orb or.
Yeah, right. Or like a light spot, or who knows?
Yeah.
And this is when you guys were staying there? Perfect. And then here, I'm going to pop up the other one as well.
Yeah, the kitchen one, you can kind of see one of those too. It's another spot.
Yeah. Here we go. I don't know if
you can. See there's a spot off to the left too.
Yeah. And then, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. The next picture, the one that I sent you, kind of a circle thing, that's going to be the one that's most interesting of that.
Nice.
This story right here.
Yeah. All right. And then I'll pop that one up as well.
Yeah. We'll see what she did. She got her phone and she put it on the hole, where you put it on the door.
Yeah.
And she actually caught something right there, like towards the back. You see where that light is towards the middle of the hallway?
Yeah.
Look towards the right.
This side here.
Yeah, like to the right of it. You can kind of.
Yeah, is there like an arm, or I'm not even sure what else.
Over here, I mean, I don't know how clear it looks there. It looks kind of blurry right there, but on my picture, you can kind of see almost like a face in there too.
You kind of see, like, it doesn't look like it's just like something in front of the camera that's like making a hazy. You can see it kind of mold with the wall.
Yeah.
Like the light. So that is interesting.
Yeah, on the actual picture, it looks like I mean, you can actually see a face from what I see.
Yeah.
Take a look at it.
Because it's just like this thing down at the bottom.
There's like almost like a mist or something.
Because I definitely see that. That's a pretty good shot down there, huh? Right
down the barrel there. Right after she had showed me that picture, we tried to try it with my phone. She actually tried with hers too to take more pictures, and nothing came out.
Yeah.
And I mean, we thought maybe her lens was dirty, or even the people, because we had cleaned it off too.
Yeah.
And I mean, it didn't look like it was dirty or anything, but we just could not get the picture to take it the same way.
Which is
interesting.
Yeah. And there you go. You actually like had those encounters, and you tried to like corroborate that, there you go. And then, and so this was, how long were you guys in that area?
In Bisbee?
Yeah.
We were only there that weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. I had been wanting to go see if, try to stay at that same room and see if, something else would happen, just kind of curious,
And then, so then you said it was your youngest daughter who had or possibly had that dream with you. How old is she now, I guess?
She's 9. She's going to be 9 in actually a few weeks.
Yeah. How old was she then, I guess? I'm like,
she was little. She must have been, I mean, when they start walking, what, about 2 or 3?
Yeah. Okay. So probably, because I was going to say, like, I don't know if she's like from since then been like, I remember these dreams, or like anything like that, or was it like? No, she hasn't. There's been a couple of times where it just made me think, maybe it's possible, but here at the other apartment, where we're at now, there's been a couple of times she came over to the living room and she said, hey, did you call me? And I said, no, she's like, I thought you called me, but I try not to think, no, not again, but. Well, yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah. But no, I was hoping, maybe she was just hearing something, but it could be, because it's not too often that happens, but.
Yeah. And at least
a few times that happened.
Yeah. It's just like small things. It would be.
Yeah. It wasn't like she came in crying, scared or anything,
Because that's the other thing too. It's like, kids are way more susceptible, or just like they experience that stuff way more. And so I was just wondering if like, anything had been recalled from her where she was like, oh man, like I do remember this. Or
my older daughter though,
Mhm.
around that time that stuff was happening, I remember my kid's mom asking me if we had a family member named I wish I could remember the name, but whatever name she had told me, we didn't have anybody by that name or anybody that passed away. But
Yeah.
I guess at that time my daughter had like an imaginary friend,
Yeah.
and one time she was saying that he was helping her down the stairs. So I mean, I don't know. With that, I don't really know too much if that would be related to the stuff that was going on in the apartment with the other ghost or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things that she had said too. Yeah.
That is interesting. Yeah, because I've had a buddy of mine. His same thing. His family or one of his brothers had somebody who was like they thought was an imaginary friend because he looked like a character from a movie, and and he would just keep calling him that character's name, and they were like, oh, you made it. He's oh, it's just that guy or whatever, thinking it was just like you like that movie or something. And it turned out, and it's like no, the guy just looked like that. So I kind of like put that on him, and then they were like, whoa, okay, maybe that was a ghost. Like, what was this?
Yeah.
Well, man, that is really interesting.
Yeah, there's another story too. I think it was before I was with that girl. I mean, I had been dating after I had left the kid's mom,
Yeah.
And there was this other time that I had went to her house. I had it was one of the times I stayed over there, and I remember waking up too because I was having this dream, not so much a nightmare, but it was just kind of odd. But in the dream, I remember kind of standing in front of the house, like almost when you're approaching the doorway, and somebody was sitting up on the roof, some guy, and I want to say maybe his name was Henry. I don't know why that name just sounds like that would be
the one.
Be it, And he was telling me, I remember him saying stuff along the lines of like, oh, treat Charlene good, or whatever, something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what he was saying, but he was telling me some stuff, almost like he was when you go meet somebody's parents, they just kind of wanting to know about you and stuff like that, and you thought, I treat her right. So anyway, in the morning, I woke up and I asked her, I said, hey, do you know anybody by this name? I was having a dream that I was talking to him, and she looked at me kind of like with a weird look, and she says, that's my uncle.
Yeah.
Or I think it was her uncle, or I don't think it was a cousin.
Yeah.
I think she said uncle. That he had a name by the name of that same name, that one that I had told her.
Were you able to?
That was kind of weird,
Were you able to like to describe him to her, or was it?
Yeah, a little bit at that time. I don't remember too much. It was years ago, that happened. But I just remember saying, yeah, I think that was my uncle.
Yeah.
I said, that's crazy. I was having the dream that talking to him, and it's weird.
Yeah, where he's like,
she had never told me about him either. That's the weird part. I didn't know anything about this guy, or
And that is true. That is interesting. Is this this is the same lady who was doing the Catholic? Who had been part of it?
This is another girl that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is another one that I think that was closer to when me and the kid's mom split up. I had met her. We were dated for a while. I don't know, maybe like a year or something like that.
And then did she ever have anything paranormal or like odd that she was like, sometimes this happens? Yeah,
I remember she did. I don't remember too many of her stories, what was happening at her house. But one thing I do remember is whenever she had came over to the apartment, that same one where all the stuff was happening, she said that she felt some stuff there too. She didn't want to tell me, anything bad, of course, of the apartment, but she had said, that she had felt something weird there too.
Yeah. And then, so another strange question, I guess, but have you experienced anything like paranormal that wouldn't be considered like ghosts or anything?
No, I mean, just those times that it was right there in the
Yeah.
apartment. Just those
Okay.
times that I told you that there was somebody right there and
Yeah.
waking me up and pulling at my ankle and stuff like that. That's the only time.
Yeah. So no like UFOs or Bigfoot
No,
or
no,
nothing.
no.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I don't know if I believe in UFOs. I'm one of those that I have to like see it or something.
I understand that.
I'm still
Mhm.
waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Well, man, I appreciate you telling all the stories.
Mhm.
Anything else you'd like to say before we wrap it up here?
Yeah, there's still more. There's
Oh
still some
yeah,
more stories.
let's
I
get
don't know if you have
those.
time or you want to wait until
I
another
got
time.
I got some I got 5 minutes. Is that
5? Yeah, I'll try to
yeah?
go through these real
I
quick.
mean, and I'm still down to hear more later on if you've got one that you really want to
Mhm.
take some time on. So
Actually,
uh
there's this one that's real quick. I'm gonna
yeah, let's
send
do
this to
that.
you. Okay, well, this story right here, my sister, she was living in LA for a little
Hmm.
bit, and the boyfriend that she was living at there, I mean, at the house there,
Yeah.
he lived with his parents also. It was like a
Hmm.
little 2-story uh townhome or whatever,
Yeah.
duplex. That's what they call them, right?
Oh,
Duplexes.
great. Yeah.
And I guess that place was haunted, and a lot of the stuff that was happening there was in the restroom area,
Okay.
and it got bad to where those people were waking up with like scratches, and it
Okay.
was the bad ones, like the
The
3.
three. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And they actually got some people over there to investigate,
Hmm.
and they had found some stuff. They found like a lot of audio, video, pictures and stuff, but
Yeah.
they wouldn't want to give them to the boyfriend because he kept bothering them. Hey, send me some stuff so I can check it out. But
Yeah.
they wouldn't send it. I don't know if maybe because maybe the stuff would come back. I mean, I don't know. They must have had their reasons for not sending it.
Hmm.
But there's this one picture that guy had posted on his Facebook, because I guess he was
Yeah.
taking pictures, posting some pictures of places he's investigated,
Yeah.
and he actually got it. He sent it to me, and I saved it all these years. But it's a pretty good picture. But from
Nice.
what the guy says, there was a lot of stuff there,
Hmm.
and it was like some bad stuff too. And there's
Uh-huh.
actual picture of it. Now they took this picture in the restroom, and you can see stuff in the back,
Yeah.
the background. You see the 2 figures in the back. The investigators are saying that's bad. That's a real bad sign right there.
Yeah, because there's
But
extra. I see extra shadows.
my sister tried to take the picture, of the,
Hmm.
she was standing in the same spot. The boyfriend was standing in the same spot. Took the picture,
Yeah.
and they could not get those shadows to look like that the same way as in right there.
Yeah.
But long story short, they did some kind of cleansing of the house, and they were
Hmm.
able to get rid of all of that stuff. But that's a
So
pretty
that's
cool
good.
picture. I thought you would like for your show
Yeah.
too.
I would like to have in a second. I'll pop that up here. And then
Yeah.
so just like another question that what do you think these like what are demons or things that are like non-human ghosts, I should say?
Mhm.
Like you have any theories on that or your own speculations?
Uh, I mean, I think it is. There's like another, kind of. I do think that they do exist,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they attack you, when you're most vulnerable. Because, like I said, when all that stuff was happening to me, that was probably the worst time of my life, where I felt more, I guess, weaker and everything, like
Yeah.
spiritually and all that. But once I got more spiritual and learned all that, from that girl that I was with, all that went away, coincidentally. But
Yeah.
there is definitely some kind of it does exist. I don't know how to explain it or
Mm-hmm.
why it comes, they appear or whatever, but I definitely know they do attack people,
Yeah. And
and
that's
just something people got to be aware of and be careful with.
mm-hmm. And then just yeah, and like I don't know, that's why I always think like, things like Catholicism or like
Hmm.
shamanism or that type of, spiritual cleansing is kind of like we kind of it's just like we're losing that art a little bit.
Hmm.
And I don't know if that's like spiritually a bad thing for us, like, because people haven't really it seems like,
Yeah,
just with society, it's kind of going by the wayside. Nobody
yeah. I
believes in it
mean,
anyway.
well, you see all these movies and stuff too. They kind of glamorize it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really dangerous also because that kind of opens people to be more curious about it, and
Yeah.
maybe that's why things appear. I mean, I was one of those people too.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we did what we did, going to the cemetery, and
Yeah. And I guess when you look back on it, do you, you know, if going to the cemetery was kind of like the main thing that kind of got all this paranormal activity really, really started, would you regret that at all? Or would you think like, it's just part of that journey and I got to bear it?
I think so. I mean, I think everybody goes through stuff, for a reason. I believe everybody has their path,
Yeah.
I think everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I say really because of cemetery, all this stuff happened. I think, like what we found out recently, I think maybe whatever was across the street has to do with it, whether it be that guy or something else,
Mm-hmm. Or something that he conjured up, because it sounds to me like, if I was to speculate, I'd be like, maybe he did some magic that, he left that area and that thing came back and was like, this is where you've always been. And then he happens upon you and your sister and everybody sees him and he gets all, I don't know what makes him mad. I actually have that picture here. I'm going to pop that up here.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Yeah,
but those two figures in the back, that's what those investigators were saying, that that's a bad sign right there.
Yeah. Do you know much about the investigators? Were they like I don't know, like psychic or
no? I think they were. I think they were related. They were like friends of. I think they were related to the friends of these people, if I remember right.
Okay.
I don't know. I know they stayed there a couple of days.
Okay, so then they were also okay. That's good.
I don't really know too much about them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering. Maybe they had some other side to them.
I think I know that guy's Facebook. Her ex. Maybe I can reach out to him and ask him. Maybe I can get that guy's Facebook page, and maybe you can reach out to him and ask him more about the picture.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, I super appreciate everything that you brought to the table. All your experiences, like
it still feels kind of weird talking about it.
Just,
I don't know. Most people, like I said, I've tried telling people before, but they kind of seems like they think I'm lying or something. But I wish I was lying about this stuff, but it's true,
And I wonder why. I wonder why people do that too, where they, they get like weird about things, and they're like, well, like, I haven't experienced it, and if I believe your experiences in some way, then that makes it real. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? But I appreciate you, Jose.
No problem.
Sometime in the future, I'll definitely get a hold of you probably and just discuss some more about it. But
sure. Yeah, anytime.
And if you think of any more stories or anybody else comes to you with anything, hey, feel free. I'd love to dig in a little deeper, and I'll put up those photos with the video and everything. And those photos will be up on the video podcast up on YouTube if you want to go check that out. Thank you guys so much for listening to Jose and his story. It really stuck with me, and it's an all too familiar scenario, I'm just glad some people get a chance to tell their story and to get it out there so that, everybody else doesn't feel so alone. Because honestly, for far too long, I feel that the paranormal community could use some uplifting, And I'm here to lift those spirits. Not the ghost ones, though.